All right, good morning. This is gonna be about something. But first we're gonna do a fit check because I spent an unusually long time, like the washing machine tangled this golden scarf all up. So I had to spend like an unusual amount of time untangling it. So I want to talk about it. But also I don't want to wear it because it's like the middle of summer, you know? So I'm gonna like lay it out. But I wanted to begin the video with it on. See, it's about the little things. And now I'm sitting on a golden like scarf in my garden under the sun with the birds. And also the rest of my outfit, I'm just wearing Levi's. I'm just wearing Levi's and the shirt underneath. This is just lace, so it like kind of feels like nothing. And then underneath, I'm wearing a shirt that says, "I am the American Dream." And it's got like a bunch of pictures of like Britney Spears, like magazine. I love it. I love it so much. Yeah, but it's just a wife beater, so that's why I'm wearing it. Yeah. In fact, we might just let it out a little bit. And the thing is that just felt like so metaphorical for me. Okay, so what are we talking about today? We are going to be talking about essentially how it is that I go about editing something. Like the process, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take you through like the step-by-step process of how it is that I like put together a music video, and like how essentially like that emerges out of me as like almost like something that like I've spent too long like trying to fight. But like no. But it also goes in, I'm also going to talk a little bit about like game theory and like the gamification of emotional expression, which is something that I've been really chewing on over the past like couple of years, like really thinking about like how to gamify like emotional expression. That way like we all know like what's going on inside of us. And that'll also like this is just like a little preview. I'm obviously going to pause this and smoke before I continue on. But yeah, because we're doing a mental workout is what's happening here. And as a former gymnast, I know about discipline. All right, so while I was on pause, I took the gold thing and I constructed myself a throne. But I also got a little bit out of the sun because it was a little too warm over there for me. We need to be chill for these ideas. But I can still like pop in. There's a metaphor behind it. I feel like every time I say anything, I do think in metaphors. So like every time I say or do anything, it does have like an emotional subcontext, but that's just kind of how I operate because I've figured out like I've never abandoned my emotionality in the pursuit of my intelligence. I like that quote. I've never abandoned my emotionality in the pursuit of my intelligence. So yeah. So what we're going to be doing today is I'm going to go through one of my music videos. It's a little bit of a longer one. And I'm going to kind of like break down like bit by bit how it is that I did that. Like, and in college I like took a bunch of experimental video classes. So I feel like that also is why this is like tying into my like constitution of my own knowledge foundation, which I was talking about yesterday too and thinking a lot about, which I think I will get back to. But for now, I want to talk about, I almost think that sometimes even more interesting than the art itself is the process by which the art became created. So that's where my brain is at here. And this is a spliff. So it's like a little bit of THC and tobacco for grounding. And I'm in the garden. Okay, so we're gonna go through Actually, there's a song I want to listen to first to get me in the right headspace. So let me listen to that. Okay, I listened to the song I wanted to listen to twice. I'm not going to tell you what it is because I'm slightly embarrassed by it. I do have shame. No, I don't have shame. More that I don't want to rope somebody else into this. Yeah. But so I'm going to be going through a music video and talking about how I chose, important things I feel like context-wise to understand. is that I have been treating my entire life like I've been collecting footage for a found footage documentary that I was gonna one day make. So I have like archives ever since I got a phone in fifth grade. I've just got so much film of just my friends, of me, of like just things that I found interesting. And so over the time, that's like taught me to really have a different, like a really intimate relationship with my habits of noticing, my attention habits. Really like what it is that like I like choose to put my lens on. Like I've had a very literal relationship with that. So that's a part of this all. Now I'm thinking I need some coffee, so I'm gonna pause again. Oh, this is important. My stepdad is like rebuilding parts of our bookshelf, just listening to Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds right now. It's 9 in the morning. Like, welcome to my house. Oh, I made a cup yesterday, actually. Alright, Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds. Alright, now let us continue. Ruby is also out here now. You can see her little nose. Yes, hi. Hi, baby. She's Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds right now. Okay. Yeah, you're just having a moment. Okay, she's leaving now. Yeah. Okay, let's go into the music video. Now that I have my coffee. Let's not accidentally play that song. Close out of it. Go away. Go away. Okay, so how is it that I even thought to make a music video for this song? The song is pretty old. It's something I made with an ex-boyfriend. It's something I've been sitting on for a while. But I have a lot of songs like that. I have a lot of songs both recorded and unrecorded that I don't like necessarily do things with. Oh, Ruby. Okay, but like that I don't necessarily do things with often. And so, but it's because like I didn't think to do anything with that until, okay, here's something. If you've spent any time with me, I've probably asked you, what color are you feeling? What color are you right now? I've probably asked you those questions. And in fact, like, that may seem like a silly question, but it's one of the most defining questions I have. In fact, I have 3 favorite answers to that question that I've received. And I ask this question a lot. Like, this is a multi-year habit, all right? This is something that has spanned multiple years. Because the way that I think of things is, in like, and that's kind of why I wanted to show off do a fit check, an OOTD. It's because the way that I notice things is by color and by texture. So when I ask you what color you are, I'm asking myself that all the time, but I'm also asking myself what texture am I? And that's how I put together like outfits. What color and what texture am I? What song am I feeling right now? So I'm often asking myself, like, what song am I feeling right now? That's why earlier I paused it for a little bit to listen to a song a couple of times. Like, it's for me to know what song I'm feeling in that moment, what colors and textures I'm feeling in that moment, what symbolisms I'm feeling in that moment. You know, Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds, that's also going to be like a song that I'm like feeling right now. And when I ask myself what song am I feeling right now, and predominantly throughout the day, the song that I'm feeling is a song of my own that's unreleased, it's like, well, okay, this song keeps coming up in my head, and like I am really feeling this song right now. Like that song that I did, Baby Baby, that we're going to be looking at the music video for. Like, I was feeling that song that day, and I realized, you know what, like, I can like understand this feeling that I'm feeling deeper by like watching, like listening to the song a couple of times, and like putting like moments from my life just that I've been like thinking about, maybe even or even not thinking about, and like using just different footage I have from my own life to kind of describe how, like, even to my own self, how I'm feeling in that moment, showing myself like a avant-garde, like multimedia, like visualization of how I'm feeling, what's going on inside of me. So yeah. Oh my gosh, and the 3 favorite questions, the 3 favorite answers. Okay, one time I fell in love with a man because of the, like, maybe even twice. Maybe these are all 3 different times where, like, a part of me fell in love with somebody a little bit. And I think they're completely, I don't know if I would go as far to say that. But at least 2 of these men I have Okay, so the first time someone answered this question, what color are you, in a way that struck me as like, oh my god, that's genius, is I asked this guy, we were on a drive through the canyons, and I was like, what colors are you right now? Or like, what color are you right now? And he was like, he answered it by saying that he was like all the different shades of green. So he was like talking about like the shades of green in the trees that we were like driving by. Like he was like, I'm like the dark and the light and like all the things in between, all of the different shades of green. And so I was like, fascinating. Fascinating answer. I guess that's what it more is. This is more about the most fascinating answers that I've ever had. I don't know if I want to bring love into it completely. Like, it's more about the most fascinating answers I've gotten. Another time, this has only ever happened once. People usually entertain this question with me, but one time in my life, like literally once, I asked somebody what colors they were, and they snapped back at me and they go, Jenna, why, like, it's Monday, 9 a.m. Like, why the fuck would I be thinking about what color I am right now? I only ever got that response once, which is honestly a little bit surprising because half of me is kind of expecting someone to say that at some point, and it never happens, but then it finally happened. And so that's another favorite response I've ever had to that question, because like I've been waiting for somebody to do that. Like, but like literally nobody had ever, like, people always entertain that question. Nobody had ever actually like said the thing like, Jenna, why the fuck are you asking me that? Like I could tell there was some anger behind it, and it's like, because I experienced that that own anger, like before I started asking people what colors they were, I experienced that own anger like towards myself, like, Jenna, why the fuck are you thinking this question? And at some point it's just like I started letting it out, and it started being fine. It was just fine. So yeah, yeah, this is all very good. Okay, so the third time that I got like a surprising new question. It's the first time I asked this guy this question. I said, like, so what color are you? And his first response was, well, is it okay if I feel like more than one, like 3? And immediately I was just like, yes, because nobody had ever responded that way either. Like, is it okay? Like, yes, it's okay. Please. I'm constantly feeling way more than just colors. So yeah, those are my 3 favorite answers that I've collected to that question. And I'm certain life will present me with more. Or never again. Only those 3 answers. Sorry, that's just like what my brain does. I'm like, what if I only ever have 3 answers to that question that I like? And then I'm like, then we're like, take control, Jenna, take control. We're not going there. Okay. Because we don't need to make it more metaphorical than it already is. All right. Okay, so we are watching a video. Okay, baby. Okay, so the beginning is rubies. Okay, wait a minute. I come from a place where people... Okay, so the beginning is rubies. These are, around Christmas time, I was walking, what's it called? This is embarrassing. It's in Beverly Hills, Rodeo Drive. I was walking around Rodeo Drive during their, like, Christmas celebration, and they had this whole wall of rubies, and, like, I love rubies, obviously. My, like, dog's name's Ruby, my birthstone is Ruby, like, I have this whole, like, Ruby is, like, a whole thing in my life. And so I took a video of this, and that's what this is. And the song is something that I wrote when I was living in a music studio in Hollywood and Vine. It's something that when I was hot tubbing, the phrase, like, help me, baby, help me if you can, touch my body, touch me if you can, that, like, kept coming to me over and over and again multiple times when I was in the hot tub. So I just was like, at some point I was like, all right, to the guy I was dating at the time, I was like, we got to go to the studio. We just got to record. I got to do something with this. Like, it was enough times where it had come to my head, and I was like, this is a thing that wants to be thinged. So that's how the song was made. And he's doing the guitars. There's 2 layers of guitars. I come from a place from This is Galadriel. I just have a Galadriel Barbie doll. that I like to arrange in different positions. And this is a house in the hills. But it's more about the Galadriel and the lights. By the hills, I mean like the Hollywood Hills, like Sunset. Which seems to mean something, symbolically. I come from a place where people fall in love. I'm not going to be explaining what I mean by any of this. That crystal, that is an apatite crystal. This is just random footage I had that, like, it's just like this imagery matched what I meant when I was feeling this song. This is just a random video of Ruby, just like, I'm listening to music on YouTube and Ruby is just being Ruby. Oh my god, my ankles, I forgot about them. Oh, I forgot about my ankles. Sometimes that happens. Okay, thank god I just remembered. Okay, this is me giving a cigarette to a tree. That's also holding my bag. I remember what I said specifically is, don't worry son, cigarette Santa's got her in your clutches now. This is a painting that I did that I had an AI turn into like made it alive. Oh, this was really funny for this part, okay, but in a way that I don't want to explain. And then, who are you? This is a sign I made, and then at this party, somebody was stealing this sign on Halloween. And I caught her stealing the sign, and I didn't stop her. I was like, can I video it? And I made the sign. These are two different things that I've made based off of, like, dream descriptions I was having or I was feeling. And then I had AI, like, animate it. This is a real moment. This is on the summer solstice a year ago. Last year, I was in Topanga. I was there to see some people perform, and also I was there because it was the summer solstice, and the Tongva people in ancient times would like go to the crossings of two creeks or rivers on like solstice days, and that's like how they would celebrate the solstice, and they would sing and they would dance. So I went to the place where the creeks cross, like by the 7th Inn, hiking around during the day, and I just like sang and danced as a river. And then I went to this show that was happening in the town square nearby afterwards because I knew some people that were going to be there. And then I ended up with this Yorban priest who gave me shells because they're like divination, but they're also like money. And so I gave it to that Yorban. Okay, the whole night of the parking lot, like I'm literally in this parking lot. I feel like this is important. Okay, so I'm just like in this parking lot. And I'm with this man who's wearing all white, and he's this white guy, and he's got like really long blonde hair, and he has this pet dove, okay? And so this guy with the dove, me, and then this Yorban priest, so this black man, he practices Yorba, we're talking about Ocean, and like he's black, and he's like from, I can't remember exactly where he's from, but he's from like a more rural area in Africa. And so the three of us are having a conversation, and this conversation literally ends in like they're hugging and crying. I've got a dove on my head. This like these two men are like hugging and crying and embracing each other in the middle of the night in Topanga in a parking lot. I've got a dove on my head. I have shells now. Like, it was a very weird day. Like, I mean, the day started weird. I started off the day weird, going on some sort of, like, Native American, like, inner pilgrimage by myself. Like, just to, like, appreciate the land better. I was studying a bunch of different things as well. Like, I was being field guidey that day, for sure. And I, like, prepared for weeks, like, not weeks, for days. I prepared, but, like, the amount of things that I can prepare in days is too much. So, I was like, because I was heavily researching, like, what Native Americans did to celebrate the solstice. That's, like, what I, like, knew I had to do that. And so that's how it began, okay? part of me got nervous about how long this is, but I think that it's important. Okay, so, oh yeah, and also on that day, on that same day, like, I met, like, essentially, like, to put it in short, Vampire Diaries, I feel like, also started that day, which is one of my favorite shows ever. So I've literally watched all, like, 8 seasons, like, multiple fucking times, and also the 2, like, different shows off of it, because I've been watching this since high school. Like, there was a point in college where you could come into my room at any point. You could buy Juul pods because they were legal in Utah, and so I would go to Wyoming to source them. You could buy alcohol because I was one of the only people with a fake ID that scanned. So you could buy Juul pods and alcohol, and also there was just a bed on the floor. Like, I collected a bunch of mattresses in college to build, like, a mega bed, so there was, like, literally the whole floor was bed. I had my room to myself, so the whole floor of the room was bed, and also the window was always open, and because next door, I lived my dorm room was somehow the closest to the peacock farm next door. So constantly there was just a chorus of peacocks going. So I also had, just to, like, you know, harmonize with the peacocks, I had Vampire Diaries on a huge flat screen TV just constantly going. So I would just, like, come into the dorm room at different times, and there would just be Vampire Diaries. And then sometimes people would just come and they would just stay, would smoke in the dorm room. Chaos. Or we would drink. I also had a tattoo gun, so sometimes people would walk away with tattoos, because I also had, like, all of the rainbow colors. So sometimes I had, like, 3 tattoo guns. So yeah, sometimes people would walk away, but I would only ever give them if I was, like, really drunk, because that's the only way you could, like, convince me. It was a whole thing. Okay, but yeah, it doesn't matter. We're not gonna get into my tattoo lore. Okay, yeah, so I had to tell you all of that to tell you about my relationship with Vampire Diaries. And so essentially I met 2 people that day, and I feel like what occurred, I met them at the exact same moment. I was, like, walking around with incense, I remember. So, like, how I met the Yorban priest and the guy with the dove, like, 2 in one day, like, and they're, like, crying, they're, like, hugging, and I'm just there with a dove on my head, and, like, but, like, I'm a part of the conversation that's happening. Like, the 3 of us are having a conversation. It's just, they're very emotionally affected by it, and I just have a dove on my head. And so, yeah, I, like, remember I, like 2 different guys, like, 2 different, like, men asked me a question at the exact same time. And I remember, like, making eye contact with one, and then making eye contact with the other, and then just being like, what? And I think that is a microcosm of an experience that I experience a lot, where it's like I can make a contact with 2 different people, like, but, like, what's going on is that they're saying things at the same time, so then it just all gets blended, and then I'm just like, I can see you, but what? And I think that, like, when you talk about, like, receiving, like, being sensitive to energies and stuff like, that's a lot of what happens in public, or, like, in different, like, dynamics with people, where it's like things kind of get, like, all, like, signal wise, like, signals dance together to create something. So it's like, even when you're, like, you know, scrolling on your social media posts, like, you're receiving all of that at, like, the same time, like, the same people, like, 2 people, different people are saying something to you at once. So it's like, you have to learn to be able to, like, and I'm still trying to figure this out, like, being able to parse, like, what is what, I guess. So yeah, that's me with this dove. Ooh, and on my belt, that's a Beanie Baby named Atlas, whose birthday was July 7th. 7/7. And I'm wearing earth colors on purpose like that, like blue and green, because I have a theory that Topanga is to Pan, Gaia, like a bridge between Pan and Gaia. And Pan is like Peter Pan, or, like, also, like, a god of, like, chaos. And so much more than that. Also, like, drunkenness. And Gaia is obviously Earth. And so that was something that I had I was looking for people that day, and I feel like I don't know how to explain it. Okay, so wait. I got distracted. I feel like I have to just. I ended up in and out that night. This is me wearing somebody's hat. This is me wearing somebody's glasses, but I liked how I looked. And then I switched into touch my body. Okay, this is funny. This is funny. This is a love letter that I wrote to a different. So I'm in one boyfriend. Wait, okay, no, I don't know. Okay. This is a love letter that I wrote to somebody on Valentine's Day. And this is just like a little video of like the cute little presentation I had going on. And why did I include that? Because this is already a song with an ex-boyfriend. So why not throw in like another nod to another ex-boyfriend? Because in my head, I'm like, okay, because then they'll just cancel each other out. Or not cancel each other out. It's more just like, because there's even another ex-boyfriend involved in this, like, because I'm in a different guy I also dated's bed in this video, and so this is from years ago. So there's so many layers. So I'm like, okay, now they can just like if I'm just like bringing the like so many, I guess like emotional threads into the chat, like. Yeah, okay, that's how I'm gonna go with that. But, like, it doesn't necessarily mean something. It's more that, like, when I was scrolling and looking for footage, I saw this video, and the idea of including it here made me laugh really hard. And that's, like, one of my cardinal rules. If I laugh really hard at the idea of something, I tend to do it. Because I'm like, okay, well, that means, like, fuck, that means I have to do it. And so I didn't. Okay. But it's almost funny in comparison to this next video. Because this video, I don't know this guy at all. I don't remember his name. I don't remember the conversation that we had. I just have this video. I do know this guy. This stuffed animal right there. That's the very first stuffed animal I ever got, okay? Its name is Dr. Bear. He's yellow. And I got him when I was an infant. And I love Dr. Bear. I don't know. I have him on my wall right now. I've kept him in such good quality this whole time. Yeah, and like he's and then look, that dove again. I didn't even notice that until right now, honestly. So Dr. Bear is then just like playing this. And there's the dove again. Wait, that's so cool. See? I be doing things sometimes and I don't even know I be doing them. Okay, and then this is a theater in Ventura. This is all footage from the night that I just saw Bright Eyes. And like, my favorite song by Bright Eyes is like when the calendar that hung itself. And because I study a lot about calendars and also suicide and yeah. So I love Bright Eyes. And I was feeling very symbolic after the show. So I was just like there after hours just like videoing everything. And, like, I don't know if I'm comparing myself to her, but, like, to an extent. Okay, and then the rest of the song is the rest of the music video is literally just this image right here. And let's look at this image. It's literally so there's a fireplace in the background. It's a white wood table. And it's covered in, like, kind of like more, like, vibrant rainbowed dried flowers. Okay, and then in this corner we have a neon pink plastic container that's shaped like a butterfly, fun fact, with a set of rainbow crayons in it. And then we have a copy of the Constitution. And it's just like the rest of the video is literally just like that, like flickering with like the rest with the music, like, because that's just how I felt for the rest of the video. It's just how I felt. This whole video of the Constitution is literally like an hour long. But it's because the original footage is taken on New Year's Eve a couple years ago when I had people over, and the background is we're jamming. So there's like guitar and I'm singing something completely different, and like there's other stuff going on and completely different people. And like, but what I was doing on New Year's Eve that night is I was using the Constitution like a coloring book. I do that with a lot of my books, like especially if I have double copies of them. Like I think it's important to like have books be like a living conversation. Like I'll even if I ever lend you a book, like it's going to be a coloring book and I want you to color it. Like I love annotations. Like whenever in like high school when we had to like leave annotations in our readings and stuff like that and then like prove it, like I loved that shit because I was already doing that with my like scriptures as a child, like or like the Bible. Like we were taught to like make annotations. If I show you my Book of Mormon, it's literally like 3 times, no, it's like 2 times the size of a normal Book of Mormon, maybe even 3. It's like very thick because of how many, every single page has another page glued into it, or has everything is colored up and marked up in different colors and stuff like that, and color coding it. So it's like I almost color grade how something affects me emotionally. And so I've done that. And then I go back like over the years. So like with different Book of Mormons, I have multiple copies of Book of Mormons that are all color graded differently. So I can kind of like see how it was affecting me. I always write, anytime I ask a question in my head when I'm reading, I write down the question in the margins. And so, yeah. And now like my brain can do that all because this is a process that I've built up like through reading religious texts as a child, like, and applying that to kind of everything. Like my brain can do a version of that, like a shorthand version of that with any text that I just like look at. Like I'm like imagining like the colors and like, yeah. So yeah. And like the reason why the Constitution struck me so much during that is because something that I've always like, that's always what got me obsessed with the freaking Constitution, like what made it hook me, I guess, is when I was younger, when I found out that it was a living, breathing document. And like when you combine that with my obsession with like found footage documentary films and stuff like that, like that is kind of like where my process of art is. Like I've had a lot of people ask me the question like, okay, how do you come up with an idea to create? Like where do you get your ideas from and stuff like that? And it's like, well, I've never really known how to answer that question. And so I guess maybe this whole video is kind of an attempt at the answering of the question is like, where do you get your ideas from? How do you know what to create? For me, it's more about a process of emergence. I don't really sit down and think, okay, idea, come to me, I need an idea. Like, it's more that I'm constantly receiving so many ideas. And I just like, I'm like, okay, what idea is like, what is striking the most emotional resonance with me right now? It's kind of the way that I try and parse or filter or like navigate my way through it all, calibrate myself. That's what I'm more calibrated to. So yeah. And then, yeah. Thanks for watching.